Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chibero College of Agriculture. It's now Chibero College is now an agricultural center of excellence where we are exhibiting high standards in crop production. So at this horticultural section, you can see we have got a cabbage crop which is almost ready for marketing. This cabbage crop was established early February and is now ready. Its variety is Fabiola from Prime Seed. The cabbage takes about 70 days to maturity, and it's actually preferred most by farmers. So with cabbage production, for you to be successful in establishing cabbages, you must do all the agronomic practices right. That is starting from land preparation, raising of seedlings, pest and disease control, and sow and irrigation. Here we are using drip irrigation. Drip irrigation has got an advantage in that you don't use a lot of water. Water is placed directly where it is required. So here we had problems of water. But when we started the drip irrigation that was supported by the Zakis program, we started to produce at a very large scale. Like now, we have got 0.2 hectares under irrigation. We also have enough vegetables to feed our students. Normally, we have 120 students, and we also have enough to sell to the surrounding communities and also to other retail outlets. So really, drip irrigation is the way to go, right? For this crop, Fabiola, we had to buy seedlings from Prime Seed Co. The seedlings were ready and they were at around 6 weeks old. So we prepared our land. We first disked the land, then made a fine tilth, then also made beds. Our beds are 1.2 meters in width and 25 meters long. With drip irrigation, you don't have to have the line too long because otherwise you have problems of pressure. So our drip irrigation design is 25 meters long, and there's enough pressure for water to be provided to every plant. We had to apply lime first. In fact, the lime was applied about 2 months before the establishment of the cabbages. So when the cabbages were ready, we had to dig out holes spaced at 60 by 50 centimeters. In horticulture, it's very important to produce what is actually required by the consumers. Some want small cabbages, some want big cabbages. But if you are aiming at big cabbages, it means you have to space them a little bit far from the other. So we are planning to develop or to grow a cabbage plant that will sell maybe at $1. So our spacing is a bit wider, which is 60 by 50 centimeters. But it can also, if you wanted small cabbages, you could also plant it at 50 by 30. But for Fabiola, we used 60 by 50 centimeters. And we will produce a cabbage that has got a big head that is actually preferred by our local market. After having dug the planting stations, we came in with a compound fertilizer. We used compound C at a rate of 30 grams per hole. That fertilizer was put in a hole and worked in, because if you just place it and then place the plant, the plant might succumb to fertilizer burn. So you have to incorporate it within the rooting zone so that it is not concentrated on one place. And then after that, we came in with our transplants, which were from the float bed, and placed them and added a little bit of water so that they don't suffer stress. Then soon after having planted the cabbages, we came in with lambda. Lambda is a synthetic pyrethroid that we use to control pests like the cutworm. One important thing with vegetables, because they are so succulent, and it was in summer when we did this and there was a lot of rain, the most difficult thing is to control pests. Pests like the bagrada bug, pests like the diamond back moth. Those are serious pests on cabbages. So you should be having routine sprays of synthetic pyrethroids to control those pests, because there is a danger when the plant is still small and you don't control pests and they attack the apical bud, you have your plant having multiple heads and it will not develop into a head that is marketable. So it's very important that you guard against that, and you should also be having some extra seed in case it might be damaged. Then you can come and gap fill so that you have a uniform crop. Then on fertilizers, that's the most important. Cabbages, they are heavy feeders. They require a lot of this nitrogen fertilizer. So there is a regime that we follow when we are applying a top dressing fertilizer, especially ammonium nitrate. Cabbages will respond well and have their full potential if the following fertilizer, the following top dressing fertilizer regime is followed. The first 7 days, you apply 5 grams of AN. Then after another 7 days, that is at 14 days, you apply again another 5 grams. Then at 21 grams, at 21 days, you apply again another 5 grams. And at 28 days, you apply the last 5 grams. So all in all, you need about 20 grams. Thereafter, you won't need any more fertilizers. So it's very important that you put or you apply your AN during the first month of the growth of the cabbage plant. This will ensure it uses it and expresses its full potential. Just like if you look at this head here, you see it's now very big and we will no longer be using fertilizers. That's for the AN. For the basal fertilizers, like I said, we used cap number 30 that was incorporated into the wall and worked into the soil. For pest control, I've mentioned 3 pests: the bagrada bug, the cutworm, and also the aphid. These pests, they need to be controlled on routine basis, which means someone has to come in and do the scouting wherever you are going to see whether the level of infestation warrants application, because sometimes they might be more predators than the pest. Then in this case, it might not be very necessary for one to apply. But if there are more of those pests and if you quickly come in, then you keep the population of pests suppressed. Horticulture is very intensive and we have to observe a lot of hygiene which would include rotations. It is not actually good practice to be repeating a same crop in the same bed. So here where we have these cabbages, last time we had tomato crop. So this will help in suppressing diseases. It will also help in the utilization of the nutrients. So this is very important if you are going to be a very successful farmer. You have to plan your garden so much that you actually have a very good rotation. Maybe a 3 or a 4 crop rotation is enough, where you would put the cabbage plant or the leaf vegetable, then that can be followed by tomato, and maybe next it is followed by a root crop, carrot or onion, or in the other crop you put in a bean crop. So that actually maintains the soil health in terms of diseases, in terms of nutrient availability.